want to stand over here?
Okay. Hello, we're here at Ray County Museum. I'd like to introduce members of the PTF. Go ahead.
I'm Krista.
Hi.
And then introduce
Tony.
yourself.
Tony. I'm Danny, I'm Vice President.
And hi, I'm Greg, the president.
All right.
And then we have Sandy
We got
and
people
Deborah
hiding back
over
there.
there.
Hi, I'm Sandy Oates.
Treasurer.
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 And I'm Deborah Pickman.
And
Yep.
case management coordinator.
All right.
There's your official title.
We're going to talk a little bit about our events, I guess, what we do, and then I can take them in, just kind of how it works and how the money goes to preservation and, you know, that kind of stuff.
Well, basically, we do these events, the overnight ghost hunts and sometimes other modifications of it, to basically help raise money to assist with historical preservation. Sometimes we go outside the box and do some other causes as well with that, nonprofit, type causes. What do you want to know about the events themselves?
I can take them in and show them how we do it, how we set up, and how it's run, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Follow Krista in, and
Come on in.
All righty.
we'll start with the check-in process, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, Danny, follow her around.
Okay. This is Libby. She's doing check-in for us tonight.
Hi.
Hello.
And how we do this, we divide people up at this particular location into 3 groups. They will each get a wristband, and we have a list here of the names already divided up into groups, and Libby is responsible to give them a wristband, mark that they're here, and we also give a raffle ticket at the end of the night. We give something usually after around dinner time, usually around midnight, and we'll do a drawing, sometimes 2, sometimes Tony and Deb donate one of their books, so that's how that works.
And the most important thing we do there, Chris, is we also sign an insurance waiver.
Yes, yes, we do. People, whenever they are confirmed and they pay for their tickets, we send them an email right before the event that has the waivers on it. And I can show you the waivers here, and it protects you as well as PTF. I don't have any in here right now. I guess we need to get some out. There's gonna be those.
Yeah, they're in the checking crate, I'm sure.
Yeah, and so everybody's protected. If somebody falls, hurts themselves, whatever, you're not getting sued, we're not getting sued, we're all good. We also have them sign a waiver for like our website, our Facebook page, because we do some Facebook Live, that kind of thing, that we can use their
Yeah,
picture and their names.
Here's a waiver.
Yeah.
And also
Here's a waiver
And also a disclosure of evidence.
and a disclosure of evidence.
the media release.
Yep, and then the media release.
Which
And-
allows us to use their voice, picture, and that for promotion for
Right.
later events, and also allows where we do the event at to use it as
Right.
well.
Yep, so these are a must, and how I do it when I do check-in, if they do not have these, I give these to them to fill out. Once they bring it back to me, then they get the raffle tickets. So it kind of gives them incentive to make sure you got everybody's waivers and media forms. We break up usually into 3 groups, and with Shoal Creek, we'll break up into like different buildings. We haven't quite figured out yet what buildings for what groups, but we'll have an hour at each location. There will be at least 2 PTF members with the groups, and we'll spend about an hour. Then we'll take a 15-minute break, and then we rotate. So group 1 will go to the place group 2 was, and then vice versa. They just keep moving around. And then until all 3 groups have had a chance to go through everything. Usually by then it is close to midnight, and we break up and we do a midnight snack, and it's usually pizza or something, whatever the location wants to do. And then talk a little bit, we give away our gifts, and then after that, the attendees can go where they want throughout the location. There are PTF members throughout the location, so we're just not giving them free reign, and we're all pretty good about, watching people, and honestly, we haven't had any issues. How many events have we done, and we have not had like any theft issues or any you know.
Over a decade of
Yeah.
events and well
So-
over 100 of them.
Right,
We're
right.
usually very, very picky about keeping our members dispersed in locations because
Right.
we also have equipment that we supply
Right.
to the people who attend so that they can get to use some of the cool equipment they see on TV.
Right.
So they're walking around with our equipment, we're with them
Yeah.
and
And we-
assisting
yeah.
them.
You know, we check it out to them, and then they can bring it back to us at each rotation. And then at the end of the night, you know, when they're allowed to go by themselves, they check it out. And, you know, we're here for questions. PTF, you know, we're good about, you get some scared people. I've had people hang on me, want to follow, and that's cool. That's what we're here for. It's about, you know, helping people to understand that if you're good in life, you're good in death. You know, not all places are bad. And to kind of help people overcome their fears. Can you think of anything else I'm missing?
We do have a lot of children sometimes that
Yeah, we do have children that come to our
12 and
events.
over, but they'll come to our events
Yeah.
and we get to work with kids
Yeah.
a lot, so which is really cool.
Yeah. And usually at every event that we have, there is, you know, somebody always comes in, they're a little sensitive or something like that. And there's always, usually at one of our events, there is a sensitive. And, you know, we can refer them to talk to that person, or, you know, they're new, they want to learn the techno stuff. You know, some of us are better than others, so we can refer them to this person. So it's all about the public and what they want to do, you know, as far as how the evening goes. I've spoke with Dina about maybe having some reenactors, maybe a little skit we can do beforehand, you know, and so
How many people do you usually have per group?
15 per group,
Yeah,
except
for
here.
Shoal Creek, it just
yeah.
depends on the venue.
size.
We always come to a venue first, which is what we did at Shoal Creek. Kind of look at the size of it and the logistics, and we decide what would be comfortable for breaking into groups, what would be comfortable for that situation, because every place is going to be different.
different,
Like this place is kind of a smaller, the wood floors makes it a little louder, so we go with 30 people because there's 3 floors and we break
Right.
10 per floor.
Right.
You know, if it was twice this size, we would probably go with 45 and do 15 per floor. So the logistics is different. Shoal Creek, it's a very large place. We could get by with 45 people easily and put 15 in each group.
Right.
And have 3 groups of 15.
One thing I do want to throw out there too, we have a no tolerance policy for anybody that's on drugs, or there's no alcohol allowed. We don't allow any of that stuff at any of our events. So I want to
Yeah,
make sure you're
we
clear
have
on
had,
that.
we haven't
Yeah.
had in the past. Our last event, we had some attendees show up that had been drinking. If we smell alcohol, or even suspect that they've
Yeah.
had anything other than alcohol,
Right.
they will be immediately kicked out and banned.
And that's as, in our waiver too, it claims that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a 0 tolerance policy, no drugs, no alcohol.
Yeah. So, can you guys think of anything else that might need to be? We usually start check-ins about an hour early before the event starts. I'll back up here.
Well, we have some attendees coming, so we
Oh,
might want to move
let's
back
go on
here.
in this room here. For say, like Shoal Creek, we've asked Dina to kind of give a tour, you know, so she'll take all 45 attendees and do a quick, you know, what the mansion is, you know, what the mercantile was used as, et cetera. And then that usually takes about an hour, I would guess.
It varies per
Yeah,
location
per
as
location.
well.
And then, you know, then we break up, we'll have a quick break, and then we break up into our groups, and then it continues from where I had started telling you. But, yeah, so, and I had talked with Dina about, you know, some reenactors being there that also know some of the history of some of the buildings too. That would be great, because a lot of these people that come to our events, they're history buffs. And so they may have questions about, you know, certain, you know, what was this used for, or, you know, and a lot of the reenactors know this stuff, you know, so they could help out in that way into some of these buildings. So, yeah, I think, can you guys think of anything else?
And what about
We're
talking
gonna come
to,
back here, Joe.
Oh, yeah, the DVR.
Oh. So I seen on Facebook you guys already set up the cameras and stuff.
Right.
So
And a lot of times, depending on the event and what's inside the places, like here we're in a museum, so there are some things of value here. So we set up not a DVR system of cameras, not only to capture possible ghostly evidence, but also to monitor the attendees as well.
Okay.
Typically based on location, like if I went to Shoal Creek or say the Pythian or something like that, I would set up the location and focus on the hot areas trying to capture evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever we do like a museum quality or maybe even Shoal Creek, I would set it up in the mansion part where there's museum quality pieces. Basically, I've got the DVR set up here this trip mainly for security reasons, just for peace of mind. Someone's going to be monitoring this all night, and we can see every hallway, every in, every out, and it's all recorded.
Right.
So
Also, another thing I do want to mention that I forgot to, when after the tour with like Dina is going to do out there, before we break up into our groups, excuse me, Danny will go over our equipment and different what they do, different, you know, we have some things like he had said that the public is allowed to use, but we have some stuff that just PTF uses, and we kind of monitor. The public can use it with us there, and so he goes over and explains a lot of that. Also explains, you know, some of our rules. We don't taunt. We don't, you know, we treat them with respect. We don't allow Ouija boards or anything like that at our events.
Scrying or anything.
No scrying, you know, anything like that either. So, did I miss anything, guys?
No, unless we want to throw something in, like, you know, our events are for a wide range of people as well. It could be the new investigator that sits on the couch and watches the shows, to someone down that's never watched a show or come out at all, or to an experienced investigator. That's why we work our system with the rotations first, because that's the segment where we discuss with the attendees and go through different aspects of investigating equipment functions. And then after the midnight break, that's when we do more of a quiet time when they go out amongst the place. But we're there to still guide them and help them. But that's to give them, you know, a realistic, you know, experience with investigating.
And we really tailor that based on the attendees who show up. There's sometimes you go into that second part of the investigation and everybody who showed up brought $6,000 worth of equipment with them. Chances are they're not there for us to teach them anything because they've got all this knowledge and all this equipment. They just want the location so they can ghost hunt. So then we generally stand back and just monitor and don't interfere with their investigation at all. And then you'll have an event where nobody brings anything except for a flashlight, and you're supplying equipment and they have no idea what it does. So then you're really kind of trying to give them tips on where to go or what to do. So every event's different. You never know who's going to show up for what.
Yeah, we do. Okay. PTF does have a lot of repeat, you know, attendees that come to a lot of our events. So I mean, and especially Shoal Creek being a new one for us, I think a lot of our regulars, you know, that are faithful attendees, you know, will come and
probably 50 to 75% repeat.
Yeah, and our events sell out every time. I mean,
well, for the last couple years, we've not had a, knock on wood, we haven't had one that hasn't sold out.
Right.
A few of them sell out really fast.
Yeah.
So.
Like 17 minutes.
Yeah, we've had a couple events sell out in 17 minutes. But we have noticed that a lot of the investigations, especially the events, the first ones that year, will be 100% repeat attendees. I mean, we have had that high number. So I don't know what it is, if it's mainstream paranormal stuff, TV, what it is, but our events have been, we would work months to try to sell out an event. Now we release them a year ahead, and they're going in minutes. So,
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think that's about it.
Okay.
All
See
right.
you at the meeting.
Okay.